See, did you have faith that I was going to come on this morning? Did you? Huh? I would have questioned it too. But if you know if it's God's will, it will happen. And if it doesn't happen, then that means there may have been something that I did or have done wrong. So, with that being said, welcome to the Free to Hope, y'all. From recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. And if you are looking for a spiritual coach, a transformational speaker, a presenter, a facilitator, a trainer, consultant, or just a listener, call me. All right. And so, what I want to be able to do now is to give my creator the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship, but the acknowledgement that I know who I am and I know whose I am. Why? Because he, it, she, whatever y'all want to call him, I choose to call him God, touch me with the gift of life this morning, this day, this moment that will never, ever come again. The Uiz family with the 5 agreements talks about you will be speaking your reality. And so I am practicing speaking my reality and being impeccable with my word and saying, thank you, Lord. AJ Harding, once again, y'all got to join AJ Morning Coffee with AJ Harding. He talked about the transformation of the old, right? And when we call on his name, right? When we call on his name, for me, Jesus, Lord, help me, right? That transformation takes place and we become a new creature because we called him in. So when I talk about my brokenness and being broke, so let me show you where did it all begin, right? Where did my brokenness end? And so what I'm going to share with you now, right, is that wow, my brokenness, being broken and broke, come on, Edwina, get it together, ended when? For me, it ended at the age of 34 on February the 22nd of 1990 at 3 o'clock in the morning from underneath a parked car after getting high with and doing sexual favors for my own stepson. That my life, right, flashed before me, and through utter desperation, I hollered out these words, whoever they say you are, take me out this life now or show me a better way. Being impeccable with my word, saying, help me, help me, help me. Voila. And he did. And so, as a result of him helping me, right, and put me on a pathway of recovery, he showed me that he has something for me to do. We are born to serve, and I've been prepared, molded, shaped, right? Demonstrating the fruit of the Spirit, not demonstrating, but practicing living the fruit of the Spirit. I lived the other spirits that use this vessel for their purpose, right? But when I called him in, whoever they say you are, take me out or show me a better way. Yes, I began to have the transformation of becoming a new creature. Oh, I love it. I love the journey. All right. So let's get with the regular format. All right. Let me have a drink of coffee. Okay. All right. So first of all, I just want to say thank you all for helping me celebrate my daughter's birthday yesterday, Kenesha Edwina Treasure Dockery. Right. And so she was watching the whole time. Right. And she was like, Mom, There you go. There you go. Well, guess what? She knows that her mom is going to be transparent and authentic. No matter how painful or uncomfortable, the intention is not to hurt anybody or to embarrass anybody. The intention is to be truthful, the before, the during, and the after. And so, what I've learned is not the process is the process, right? But it's not where you've been, it's where you're going. And right now, this is where you are this second. And so, happy birthday, my Tuggle Boogie number one. Yes, yes, yes. You are a very, 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 very good mother, the mother of three. You have your bachelor's, your master's. You're working on your doctorate, right? Huh? You are a active parent and and sharing the world with your children, my grandchildren, right? And so let me tell you something, all of you, we all were born with a destiny. God chooses our family, He chooses our gender, He chooses everything, right? But during this process called life, right, we have to go through in order to get through, but only if we find out what spiritual tools are available, right? When we have our knee bowing experience, right? And so I'm letting you know, and have been since January, that there are spiritual tools and resources I have used during my 34 years plus in recovery from co-occurring disorders of mental illness and substance abuse. Okay. And so I want to share with you and have this conversation because, one of the things I've learned about being on this earth and living this journey called life, that life deals us a hand every day. We never know what's coming down the pipe. And I learned that there's a verse in a prayer that says, "Give us this day our daily bread." And so, whatever comes down the pike any day, give us this day our daily bread. And so, having some understanding, just a little bit more of spiritual influences for the purpose of demonstrating and living the fruit of the Spirit, that whatever life deals this day, I know who the dealer is, and I know what to do and what to apply when life deals me the hand. Whether it's good or bad, up or down, it doesn't matter. No praise, no down, no praise, no down, no, whatever. Okay, I've learned to give my God all the glory, the praise, and the worship, because He says, "Give us this day our daily bread." He is letting us know that whatever comes down the pipe, give me glory, acknowledge me, and you will see what happens. Okay, all right. So I was unable to share with you the reading of yesterday, right? Because I celebrated my daughter's birthday. But I just want to give you a clips of what we would have said. Wait a minute, I ain't trying to go there yet. Wait. Oh well, you know what? Let me go there. Okay, let me go here. All right. So check this out. This really is my first spiritual tool that I used. And so when I think about being underneath that parked car, so you see the parked car, right? And you see a hand, a body under it extending out. The picture was recreated to show authenticity, right? Leroy Grayson, right? I believe it's Choice Media, right? He created my back and front cover. And so I actually explained to him and demonstrated, but he said, "You know what? Show me." now, well, so when I showed him, I actually got underneath his truck, right, which had a little more room than a car. And because I had, I only weighed 90 pounds then. And so when I put myself underneath the truck, right, he said, okay, let me take that picture. And then he customized it so to make it look like I was smaller, skinnier, and the whole 9 yards, which really set the stage to show authenticity and transparency. My journey of brokenness and being broke ended underneath this parked car. And so while underneath that parked car, right, um, my life flashed before me. And so when he put me on the pathway to recovery, and I got into a 12-step spiritual program called Alcoholics Anonymous after being sent to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, to a recovering community, if you will, and started going to AA meetings, NA meetings, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, Cocaine Anonymous meetings. In other words, 12-step spiritual principles within a fellowship that's spiritual in nature. So I began to go to these meetings, right, every day. And I still go every day, 34 plus years later, in one way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay, so it was during this time when I went to meetings and I would hear people share their experience, their strength, and their hope by being in a spiritual fellowship, right? And they are identifying spiritual tools that they're using, like the literature, the pamphlets, right, the traditions, the steps, the concept, the commitments of going in and out of institutions, helping people to know that we do recover. They are all spiritual resources, spiritual tools that others have used to address, eradicate, right, their co-occurring disorders of mental illness and substance abuse. But we also learned that the disease of alcoholism, right, is only arrested. And people debate, and that's okay. I debated too, but guess what? When you understand the spiritual warfare that goes on in this atmosphere, you will understand that we have to be grounded. We have to put on the armor, right? We have to be prepared for the enemy to come in any way, shape, form, or fashion, because he is very, 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 very patient. And so when I accept the idea that I'm only living this day, and that the God that I now serve is going to give me what I need for this day. But guess what? It all started with this journal that my sponsor, Arnetta, bless her heart, she suggested I keep a journal. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time, if I may, on the importance of journaling. Okay. When I say that we have a tendency as human beings, right, to keep everything within, right? We don't share anything, and then if we do share, sometimes I'm going to talk about me. I lie. I don't tell the whole story, or I exaggerate because I'm a people person. I'm a people pleaser, and I wear all these masks. And so when I was underneath that parked car and I hollered out to this God that I didn't know to take me out this life or show me a better way, that mask came off. That mask of wanting to please you and please you and please you and please you and please you, right? I had so many masks on that I didn't know who I was or who I am or whose I belong to, right? Or whom I belong to, right? And so when I got into the 12-step spiritual program and started going to these meetings, I would hear people who had the same disease of alcoholism, drug addiction, mental illness, and all the related and associated issues that go with having co-occurring disorders, right? And so now all of a sudden I see that I am not alone, that it just didn't happen to me. that, wow, other people experienced the same thing I did. So I was in a room full of people addressing the same issue. That alone gave me somewhat of a more comforting attitude, a more comforting position, because I saw that I was not alone. And when you find out that you are not the only one who is going through something, right? Who have been through something, even though it may vary in the situation and circumstances, but you see, as a human being, we all go through something, because we are all ill to some extent, just by the mere fact of being born into a sinful nature. Right? So I didn't know none of this. Like, you probably don't understand none of this, and that's okay. That's why they say keep coming back. So I'm getting to the point where I'm sharing why it's so important for us to start journaling. And if you're planning to come to my April the 27th free, right, in-person event, well, I will share with you what I'm sharing with you now, but you'll be in the room with me, the spiritual resources and tools that I've been using for the past 34 plus years. But it did start with that cry for help, number one. That's a spiritual awakening through a spiritual experience that I did not know I was having. The fact that through a humiliating experience by being underneath a parked car and hollering out to a God that I didn't know brought about humility. And so I recognized that he did not take me out, and he chose me. Right? So many are chosen, right? Many are called, but few are chosen. So I know I've been chosen, because there's no way in hell I will sit up here and tell you, right, everything. I have no secrets. Do you hear me? I have no secrets. Everything that I, right, concealed that needed to be revealed, I did, because I began to heal. And so my sponsor, Ornetta, said, okay, Edwina, uh, you lie, don't you? Of course I do. Mm-hmm. Do you lie when you go to therapy? Yeah, because I'm going to tell them what they want to hear. Edwina, do you lie when you go to counseling? Yeah, sometimes, because I don't know that woman. I don't know what. I mean, yeah, I lie. When you go to meetings, when you share, do you exaggerate? Do you lie sometimes? Yeah, yeah, I do. Okay. So she said, at what point, Edwina, will you learn to tell yourself the truth? At what point will you be honest with yourself? At what point will you get real about finding out who you are without wearing any mask? At what point? She said, well, let me make a suggestion. Since you lied counseling and therapy in the room, since you lie, okay, I want you to start keeping a journal each and every day as best you can, to talk about your feelings, your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, your fears, right? Just tell yourself on paper what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Be truthful. Say it exactly the way you feel it, the way you think it, right? Tell yourself the truth. And, I had to get a flashback. Let me take a drink. I had to get a flashback, right? Because it's not the first time that I kept a book of my thoughts or feelings. So, in all honesty, I already had an experience of telling myself my dreams, my hopes, my fears. It was in the form of a diary. I kept the diary when I was 11, 12 years old, right? And guess what the diary was about? About this older man that I fell in love with, right? It was a diary of me sharing my thoughts, my dreams, what I'm going to do, what he's going to do to me, how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to make him feel, right? Ooh, that diary was what? I didn't expect my mother to find it. But in that diary, I wrote everything that I wanted to do, what I wanted him to do, how he was going to do it, and I'm only what? Right? Why? Because of the thoughts, ideas, and attitudes that were formulated way, way back when I was a child. Okay, so I had a comparison of a diary versus a journal. So I took the suggestion, and it was the very, very first tangible tool that was spiritual in nature, unknowing to me. Spiritual in that I told myself the truth and I put it on paper, right? So journaling. I, for whatever reason, lie for no reason at all, just to be lying, right? And it's not necessary. But what keeps me and have kept me lying was fear. And they say fear is definitely the foundation of all our character defects. Okay, and so I started keeping this journal. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because my first line, and I showed you, I've been put on direction to keep a journal of my feelings. Here it goes, like very sarcastic, right? And so I began to do what I was suggested to do. And guess what? The beautiful thing about a 12-step spiritual program, there's no must. There are no demands. We suggest you do these things. Because people like us and probably like you don't like to be told what to do. We like telling people what to do, but we don't like being told what to do, right? And so the spiritual transformation of a demand to a suggestions take on a different meaning, because they said, well, if you plan on going skydiving, we suggest you put on a parachute. I think you're right. Right. And so I started keeping this journal, and I'm a morning person. And so I learned that I was a morning person, not because of growing up and have to go to school, but I was a morning person when I went into rehab, and you had to get up early to iron, to shower, to do this and do that. So I started getting up early while everything was quiet and people were sleeping. So I kept that up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, at a transitional house for women. So every morning I would get up around maybe 4 o'clock, right? 4:30, and I would go downstairs and I would make my coffee real quietly. And so then I would get my little pad and I would start writing. Yes, early in the morning, my thoughts, my feelings, what I done yesterday, how I felt about what I did, what my plans are for the day, right? And so you will see when you come April the 27th, right? You will see my actual journal as well as my new book. I'm freaking tired of being broken and broke, right? And so, yes, that will be available as well. But the whole point of journaling, when I am quiet and when I need to practice keeping still, and I need to express what I'm feeling, because if I don't release, right, what's internal and expose it, then it rents right space in my head, and recovery tells me no, 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 get it out. No more concealing what needs to be revealed, right? And so I'm telling you, I had no idea the beauty, the release, uh, the spiritual experience, as well as the spiritual awakening of writing down exactly what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I did, what I said, how I felt, right? How that made me feel. Yes. Before I would drink about my emotions. I would smoke crack because of my emotions. I would prostitute because of my emotions. I would go out and do all kinds of things because I'm emotionally feeling things and I don't want to feel. Feelings are not necessarily facts. They're just feelings. But for me, I had to understand that what I'm feeling, right, is the result of things that occurred or are occurring that generates these emotions. I didn't understand that. And so when I look back on my 4-step inventory that Alcoholics Anonymous tells me to do, I learned how we are emotional human beings. And as a result of that, we either respond or we react to our emotions in a positive or negative way, and oftentimes both ways, right? And so, okay. But now I get the opportunity to, like that diary about a man, to keep a journal about me, about me, about me. I'm afraid. I've been doing drugs and alcohol for 14 years. I'm afraid to look at me, but I know I need to look at me. I want to look at me. I want to find out what I thought, what was wrong with me. But keeping my journal, I found out what happened to me. And so you see, journaling is such a crucial part of spiritual tools and spiritual resources, because I get to see myself on paper, right? And it becomes my reference book, right? And so I'm going to continue tomorrow on the spiritual tool that I use very, very, very initially, which is my journal. And I want to share a couple of entries with you to demonstrate what I mean, okay? I shared with you yesterday from my journal, my daughter's letter, where she basically told me to kiss her behind with permission from her dad. Okay. And so, again, who wants to be set free? From recovery, emerge empowered. And when you are set free, you want to give hope to others who are experiencing similar things as you are, like I did. Hope, help others prosper equally. And so the importance of keeping a journal for me is very, 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 very crucial. All right. And so I just want to share with you tomorrow. Again, you see me underneath the parked car. You see 3 pictures there. The first one was I was in high school. I had dreams of being an actress, a model, a phys ed teacher. I was the co-captain of the cheerleader team, vice president of my class, and so forth and so on. And then in the middle, you see me in my addiction. Only weighed 90 pounds, hair all short and matted, skin all dark, eyes all dark, right? Filled with STD, you name it, I had it, okay? And then once I crossed that bridge from addiction to recovery, from darkness to light. Why? Because I called out, help me, and my God that I know now but didn't know, right, put me on a pathway to not just recovery, but being set free. That's why I can be authentic and transparent as I am. That third picture is when I got my master's at the age of 43. Yes, and now I'm presently getting my doctorate in biblical studies just to learn more about the God who met me, delivered me, and prepared me from underneath that parked car to be set free using spiritual tools and resources to give you hope, help others prosper equally. I hope to see y'all on April the 27th. And I might not even going to say it. You know what's coming, right? But I want to say I love you. I really do love you. You know why? Because I learned to love myself. I learned to love myself. I'm not giving anything or anybody that much power ever again to put me back underneath that parked car or to remove me where God has placed me. You see? Because I know whose I am. And as a result, I know who I am. And I want to help you find out who you are. So, are you tired of being freaking broken and broke? Join me on the 27th of April. I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug. And a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Yes, right. Edwina B, Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. How you like now? Have a blessed day.